Ryan, can I ask you a question? In your work, I loved how you talked about how your professor colleagues are experts, but not necessarily pedagogical experts, right? Like they're not. So if you had all the resources in the world, like how would you make that happen? How would you help college professors create those inclusive classrooms that you talk about and get that teaching expertise as well?
We only have half an hour, right? Blame Emily. All right.
And Bryan, you also only have all the money in the world, so like,
and 30 minutes to spend it in. Well, yeah, I mean, I joke, but the reason why I ask is because there's a couple levels you're gonna have to hit. All right. If you speak to me on certain days, Emily, I would say I would honestly get a bottle of kerosene and matches, and start the whole thing from scratch. And I don't mean to be an anarchist, but sometimes when a system is broken enough, there's only so much resources you can put into like patching and denting and fixing. And I've only been a professor for 6 years, but and a grad student for 6 before that, but I've seen enough that you see how this system encourages and perpetuates bad behavior. So I am actually an optimist, despite my tone. I do believe that most people are good. I do believe that most people actually want to do the right thing. But I believe the way this system incentivizes and rewards behavior shapes their professional activities. So at the college level, if they can talk all day about Black Lives Matter and we put out a statement and blah blah blah, but if the thing that's going to get you promoted is your research papers, then you will pay less time to your teaching. I don't care how good you are as a person, that's what you will do because you have a mortgage to pay, you have kids to send to college, you will orient your behavior towards how you are rewarded. So we have to look at how reward structures happen, and how we kind of communicate value through the ways in which we pay. So to specifically answer you, I would, if I had all the money in the world, somebody comes into my institution, you come in as a faculty member. Whether you teach 4 classes a semester or you research cancer, you come in as a faculty member. Same salary. Not $30,000-$40,000 difference because this person came from Harvard. You came in as a faculty member. Your teaching is as valuable as your research lab. So you sort of decide on this spectrum, this horizontal spectrum of research and teaching, how do you want to combine the two? But we're not going to create a hierarchy because this person is a cancer researcher and this person teaches intro-bio, right? So once you've communicated economically that all faculty behaviors, whether it's research or teaching, is valued the same, now you can start holding people to different expectations. So when you hire, you don't just say, oh, you have a PhD in plant sciences, therefore you can teach 3 classes. No. Demonstrate that you have been trained in pedagogical methods, that you've worked with diverse populations, that you understand inclusive practices before we hire you, right? I have been on search committees where I've, called this out and said this person hasn't taught. And I've been told, oh, well, it can go to 1-year workshops. So there's a mentality that you could just sort of workshop your way out of this problem, right? So same thing when you go out for promotion and tenure. If there isn't a valid, credible rubric to evaluate good teaching, then anybody can write, my kids liked what I did, right? But knowing that the thing that will allow them to get promoted is the other parts of their professional portfolio, then they don't really have to care to actually do a better job in the classroom. So I guess, Emily, I'm torn. I don't know if I would take all your money and just build a whole new institution, or if I would take maybe some institutions that are trying and are making some headway, and perhaps I would just revamp a good 20% of it, show some product from it, and then try to scale that product to the rest of the campus, right? That would be the question. I would just close by saying, I think it was Caitlin who says she's in Lawrence, Mass, right? A good colleague of mine, friend and colleague of mine from MIT, Christine Ortiz, started a campus in Lawrence called Station 1. So right now it's a summer program, but the way she designed it is the students who apply to the program, they design the campus, they design the curriculum, They design the space in the room. So she's actually trying to do that. She's trying to build a campus from scratch. And she works in Lawrence, Mass. In particular because of its history, its economics, and I'm sure Caitlin can tell us more about that. But she's trying to do inclusion from the ground up. And I just really admire what she's trying to do because it's not easy.